What's up, YouTube? It's Wes here. So Pi Network is now live. And when I say live, I mean the mainnet is here. Pi is tradable. All the things that the core team promised is here. Well, mostly anyway. And I'm going to talk about that. I very nearly did not make this video, not because I'm anti-Pi. I still mine every single day. I'm still as interested as I've ever been. As many of you know, I've taken a bit of a transition in my life and starting a new company and been quite busy with it. But I figured this. We're 2 days before the cutoff period, which I'm going to explain what that means in a minute. And I figured that, look, I've had thousands of people come into Pi Network through this channel. And so I'm making this video for you. I want you to be aware. I don't want anyone to come out and say, I didn't know that this was all happening. I wish Wes would have told me. Well, this is me telling you. I'm not doing this because I've been paid. I've never been paid by Pi Network. I've never been paid for any of this. I cover it because I'm interested. The channel has seen a lot of flack for that. There's been a lot of growth in the channel because of it. And I've said this from the get-go. From day one, I've been super excited about Pi Network because it's different than pretty much everything else out there. It's really attracted a group of people around the world for the first time into crypto. And the big question has been this, and has always been this: is Pi Network a scam or is it real? I know the founders. I've talked to them. So I knew it wasn't a scam. But I also had a bit of trepidation, like I think many did, of when is this actually going to happen? It's been years in the making. Now, I will tell you the core team has gone through probably all kinds of waiting and dealing with the pressures, but here we are. And I will say this, huge congrats to the core team. They stayed strong, they stayed true to what they were doing. In the meltdown of so many crypto projects that have all fallen by the wayside year after year, they have stayed strong and continued to build. And here we are in the mainnet. It's fully released. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about what it means. First of all, I'm looking at my phone right now, and a couple things stand out to me. The first thing that stands out to me is if you go and look at your network, it's going to tell me at least the time of me producing this video, 2 hours and 2 days and 12 hours. So let's call it about 2.5 days left to renew your Pi. And if you don't renew it, what does it say? It says, if your renewal and security team members don't finish the mainnet checklist by the grace period deadline, you will lose some bonus points or bonus Pi attributed to their contributions. What does that mean? Well, I don't think anybody fully knows what it means. I can tell you this. I'm sitting on a significant amount of Pi that has all been coming in from referrals, from people that have come into the Pi Network through my channel. I don't heavily promote my channel. I never really have, because I never wanted to be blamed of like just being a complete Pi shill. So I made you hunt for it if you wanted to go join my group. But I have a lot, and many of you have a lot that's completely unconfirmed. And so you need to do that. Now, I want to answer some other questions, but I'm going to share my screen out and I want to show a couple of things that I want you to be aware of. Pi Network users sell accounts amid mainnet migration issues. That is a really bad idea. I'm going to cover more about what this is talking about here. So first of all, millions of accounts remain locked. So it says Pi Network has 11.5 million accounts. That probably is about right. You can go look at the Blockchain Explorer and confirm that. So let's say it's true. At least 62% of all accounts are locked for 3 years. And I read that and I'm like, well, yeah, that's what you chose. When you're going through the mainnet migration, one of the questions it asked you is, how many years do you want to lock up your Pi? I had a video on that too, and I told everybody, I'm not doing 100% of my Pi for 3 years because I'm going to have access to some of it. But the more you lock up and the longer you lock it up for, the more you're going to make in what you're holding. There's a percentage bonus. I think it go up as high as like 300% or something. I didn't do that. I told my whole community, don't do that. If you choose 3 years and 100%, yes, you're going to earn a lot, but it's going to be, the network's going to go live at some point, which is now, and you have no access to it. So I look at that news article and I'm like, if you're mad about that, it's your own fault. That's no one's fault but whoever chose 3 years. And you're not getting out of that. You got to wait. Sorry, it is what it is. All right. So 62. So I don't know what else to say other than too bad, so sad for those people. So what are they doing about that? Well, it says that some people are trying to go onto X and they're trying to sell their entire account, which basically means pay me money and then you can get access to the Pi. I'll give you the wallet, and off you go. Now, let me tell you, there is everything wrong with that. As a buyer, never do this. Because look, if they're giving you the private key and it's locked up, there is nothing, because they also know the private key. They're the ones that gave it to you. And you're waiting for 3 years or 2 years or whatever it is for it to all come due. The second that happens, they can just go steal it back from you. So please do not get into a situation where you're buying someone's Pi account. That is a terrible, stupid idea. Secondly, it's against the rules of Pi. Like if you get caught doing that, they're going to take your Pi. They're going to cancel your account, as they should. So there is no good of doing this. The entire reason Pi exists as a cryptocurrency is you should be able to buy and sell the crypto, not buy and sell your account. So please don't do that. If you're someone that's been stuck with 3 years, I don't know what else to tell you other than this. Deal with it, wait, and just pretend that it doesn't exist and go on about your life and come back to it later. That's the only advice I can give you. Stop stressing about something you can't fix. Don't try to go sell it. It's a terrible, terrible idea. All right, let's get back into the news article. So let's talk about price, because this is so important. If you followed my channel, the number one question everyone's always asked me year after year is, what is Pi price going to be? And the only thing I've ever told you is this: it's never going to be the $314,000 US per Pi that some people in the community were thinking of. Economics don't support that. History doesn't support that. But the question was, what was it going to open at? Many people were like, it'll be under $1. I never really gave my assessment, so it's unfair for me to tell you, well, this is what I thought it was going to be. I intentionally stayed away from it because price speculation is ridiculously stupid. Now we can talk about it because the price is out. So let's go back and take a peek at what's happened here. As you would expect, the Pi price over the past few days, when it first went to open mainnet, of course, shot up because there's a ton of interest. What are you going to also have? A lot of people selling their initial Pi that they didn't have locked up. And so you're going to see a reduction in value. This is basic supply and demand. So Pi saw an all-time high of about $2.93 US. And I think that's a great price, honestly, for an opener. I don't think the market supports well, it doesn't support anything higher. If you disagree with that price, well, you're clearly not trading on that price, right? And so this is, if you've never come into this world of not just Pi price, but stock price and how all these things work with markets and demand, it is what it is. The price will be what the market expects. Now, I do think it's fair to say this: very few markets are currently selling Pi. For me in the US, I have very few options, legitimate options for me to go and sell my Pi. So the big question I think people want to know from me, have I sold my Pi? And the answer is no. I am still mining. I mine every single day. I might miss a day. I might miss a few hours, but overall, I don't miss my mining. I've never missed it. I've continued to mine. And what I've noticed is this: I go and look, and in over the past year, I probably had active miners. So I'm just going to tell you what I have here. I have over 3,200 people in my network that I've invited in. All right. And I've noticed over the past year, once the hype cycle really went down, when crypto nosedived and people just weren't super invested in crypto during that low period, and when Pi was still in kind of the closed mainnet, I probably had 200 people max mining out of 3,200. Not very many. Guess what I have today? Today, because we're an open mainnet, I've blown up to 508 people currently mining, but that's out of 3,200 people. So in other words, if we just say those are the people that are paying attention to the news, 500 out of over 3,000, there's a ton of people that I've invited in and others invited in that have no idea about the news we're watching that I'm talking about right now. Let's talk more about the Pi price. What is it? So there's a couple places you can go find it. CoinGecko is a great place to go find it. You can see it's currently trading at $1.41. But one of the things about this is if you go and look at the markets, this is what I meant. There's not a lot of places to go and trade. And if you live in the US like I do, very few of these are options for you to be able to log in and be able to trade your Pi. And so if some people are going to come back and say, yeah, but Wes, the reason that Pi is only at $1.41 right now, and the reason it kind of took that nosedive off the $2.80 price is because there's not a lot of places to buy and sell it. Well, that's fair. That's completely fair. As we see more markets open up, we may see the price continue to change and become more volatile, but beware, it could fall downward as much as it could go upward. Why? Because you open up to Binance, for example, that lots of US folks have access to, and a ton of more people start selling their Pi, it could go down, right? So I just tell you this: I haven't sold any of mine. I'm not interested in selling my Pi at this point. I'm going to continue to wait. But I will tell you this: be ready for price volatility, okay? And also make sure you're checking good Pi pricing. So make sure like if like CoinGecko is doing a good job because it's actually reading the market, it's using the APIs from each of these markets to go and see what it's trading at. Or the last thing I wanted to say in close of this video is this. Look, many of you are new to crypto and you're not used to what happens in the slimy world around us. So I'll just tell you this. Do not listen to people talking about Pi price. They have no idea what they're talking about. I don't care if they're a major crypto YouTube channel. I don't care if they're a minor one. They just have no idea. You should never listen to a YouTuber for pricing advice or someone on X. Please don't do that. Nobody really knows. It goes down. They say, I told you so. It goes up. They say, I told you so. And they talk about all these ways to read the market. They don't know. So just be patient. Understand the market is going to take some time to settle out. And right now, Pi, at least in the US, has no real usage options. There's not places for me to go and buy and sell Pi. On top of that, IRS tax code makes it really difficult on how they calculate and look at crypto as an asset. So it makes it hard for me to be able to go and buy and sell stuff because I'm gonna have capital gains if I use it. So there's just a lot of mess in the crypto world overall that you just can't get sidetracked on. Remember the whole usage of Pi and why it came out. It came out because it was giving accessibility to the world on a universal crypto. Some countries will use it for actual financial transactions and buying and selling of goods and services. It's wonderful. Others, like the US, it's going to be much more difficult. It's fine. But just know it's a really cool approach, and I'm here for the long run. I've always been here for the long run.